So, we get some controversy going on in Pokemon Go yet again. I was out of state or Commonwealth. I'm in a Commonwealth. And I was gone all month for the most part, going up and down the East Coast. And now I'm back, and then there's this announcement of a new community day. And everybody goes crazy. Everybody just loses it. So I first noticed it yesterday, and I was like, I'll just look into it. I'm just tired from traveling. And then I saw Trainer Tips Nick actually put up a video, and so I went on there. And Trainer Tips Nick was like, okay, well, how do we feel about this as a community? How are we feeling? Leave a comment and so on. So basically, last night I left my comment, and because Nick is a chill person, my comment is still there, and people let them know how they felt, and he also let everyone know how he felt because he didn't necessarily seem entirely enthusiastic about it, but he had different thoughts about it. And then I wake up this morning, and by the way, I have no beef. I'm not bullying Nick. I like Nick. Nick's a cool guy. But I get up this morning, and then I saw the Trainer Club's video, and he same thing. How are your feelings? And I know he likes everything to be like positive and whatever. So I'm like bending over backwards, trying to think like how should I type my comment so as not to be negative. Like, what should I do? How can I sugarcoat this? How can I be honest? You know what I mean? Otherwise, why bother? Right? So I'm typing and retyping and typing and retyping. Like, how should I even put like emojis in it? Right? I telling you how I feel and also qualifying it and being like, this is why. And then I post it, and then I noticed I had a typo, so I thought, okay, well, I'll edit it and then I'll fix it. And just a brief moment to fix my typo. All of a sudden, I can't even add the fix in there because it's been like removed and deleted. So at first I'm like confused, like what's going on? Is it my internet connection or whatever? No, my comment was deleted because it wasn't correct speech. And I don't have anything against, I don't have any beef with Billy. I think the Trainer Club is actually a really good channel. I don't really think that Billy necessarily was the one that deleted it. Maybe he has like bots, or maybe he has like mods or something that do that. I don't know. Okay? Like, don't cancel Billy. So I went over to Twitter, and oh my goodness. What the heck? So I mentioned on Twitter, like, oh, this happened to me. And then my feed was just like full of just like all this stuff. And it just starts building and building. And next thing I know, like, Niantic is trending on Twitter. Like, what the heck? Oh boy. And it gets worse. It gets worse because, so the major controversy was, well, it's a few things. So we went from the 6-hour event, which was awesome and convenient, to the 3-hour, which I don't personally know anyone that loved that, personally. And I know a lot of people. I'm in New England. We have a massive player base. And social media and community engagement is a few prongs here. We have people who know each other, and we text each other and phone call each other. And this is, by the way, it started off tiny. It was a small little community, and we've grown this since like 2018, 2019, okay? We even grew it during the pandemic. Like, We're helping each other out. I've personally contributed to the majority of the Pokestops in this area, and if it wasn't me that did it, it was me helping people to suggest things, because we're like a community. I mean, concept, right? Oh boy. So I start seeing like screen captures of people, and I start seeing like comments, and people are, discussing stuff. And, how is it that we got 6 hours, which everybody liked, condensed into 3? And the response was, well, it was community leaders. But who are they? Well, it turns out community leaders are basically YouTubers. Here we go. Please don't bully anybody. I want to credit people, but like, please don't bully anyone that I'm mentioning. Like, these are things that people are discussing that are actually the community. They just don't put it on camera, okay? We also don't live in Los Angeles, or greater Los Angeles. So, one of the biggest pieces of positive feedback, and this is a quote, that we received after January 3-hour Community Day Classic was that players and community leaders noticed how much more of the community was out and about during the event. So far, the Stuffle Community Day, we're returning to 3-hour format. Our hope is that doing so will create even more opportunities for. I don't know how less would make more. If you're a maximalist, more is more, less is not more. So less somehow is more opportunity. No. Our hope is that doing so will create even more opportunities for trainers to play together and connect outside as they're exploring. And here we go. Community leader. Except these leaders were not chosen by you or me. They were just decreed to be a community leader just because they're a Twitch streamer or a YouTuber and they put stuff on camera. There are people who are more engaged in communities, plural, in my area on the daily and the nightly than people who put it on camera. And we have way better, way more thoughtful feedback. We also have a completely different experience, which is frankly unfair up here in the north. We don't live in the beautiful, perfect weather that rarely ever rains in greater Los Angeles or in greater Boston. And that is a massive area. There are people that come down from Maine to play in Boston. And then for Community Day, when you have the 3-hour ones, a lot of people just cram into the good spots like Boston Commons because for some reason it's boosted, right? But your local town, which we spent how many years trying to get more stuff in, when you do a 3-hour Community Day, it's just not the same rates. It's just not. A lot of times on the 3-hour events, you don't even start, even in the 5-hour events, I don't even start to get a shiny until that 4th hour. So how is it it's not 4 hours? Right? And community leaders decided this who don't represent me, who don't live here, who don't know anything about New England. New England is such a hot spot of players that there's people coming in here from Saudi Arabia. Okay, no, this isn't the Santa Monica area, the Santa Monica Pier or whatever. There are people who come in here from like remote players who want to play and do raids with us and be friends with us because we actively send gifts and things from other countries, Malaysia, Japan. I see them in the Discord. Discord is way more happening, and I'm not talking about YouTubers' Discords. I mean like actual communities that have Discords, who also have components as well on Reddit. Reddit is another massive community. Just because there's not a video camera there, it's in text format, doesn't mean it's not engaged. It's more engaged in text format. than on camera. Just because something is a YouTube thing, it's a Google thing, doesn't mean it's better or the authority. And then we have people that are these influencers, these community leaders who are Twitch streamers, celebrities, and YouTuber celebrities, and they're attacking, bullying, and berating and mocking um, handicapped people. So during hashtag Heroes Niantic, which was a major engagement, guess where? On Twitter. And they want to use, some of them even did this on YouTube as well. They're using handicapped people as this token of leverage to make a point. Oh, those poor unfortunate handicapped people. There's also lots of elderly people who play the game. Pokemon and Pokemon Go. There's no one specific age group. I play with elderly people. In fact, my very first X-raid, I was the youngest person there, and I was like, 36 or something, at 38, somewhere, 30 something at the time. Okay? That just blows my mind. Okay? And in the summer, I'm definitely playing with elderly people. There are people out there. Okay? Now I did the paid tickets for the Go Tour, Kanto Tour, and Johto Tour. I don't think I'm ever paying for that ever again because it just was not a good experience. Up here in the north, we have very bad weather in February. In fact, I feel like community days in January, February, and March tend to be the worst because of the weather. Even with a 5-hour event, even with boosted incense, because you can't do anything unless you have a car. So the only people that I knew locally who had an amazing time were people who had cars and in a carpool. So they could go to all these different towns and then eventually end up in Boston, or they straight up played in Boston. But if everybody's in cars to play Pokemon, this Pokemon Go here, especially like Go Fest time in summer, is crazy. We block up roads with cars with people who want to come and see each other and play and do so community days. So now you have less time to play. You have more incentive to block the roads with cars, even though they don't want people playing in cars. But that's the only way you can play. The only way you can get shinies is if you have a carpool or cars. The gasoline price is nuts. And then, of course, some people want to talk about, pandemic, endemic, whatever, virus stuff. Well, here's the thing. If it's 12 degrees outside, I'm not going to play outside because that's bad for your health. And COVID isn't the only thing that can kill you. Streptococcus. There's other kinds of viruses out there. Okay, there's other kinds of viruses out there that you can die from. Pneumonia. Jim Henson died from, guess what? Pneumonia. And there are screen captures of people bullying people. Like, there's a specific YouTuber, I'm not gonna say the name, and I know this person was bullied before and hacked before. It's not fun. I know how it is. I know the feeling. I have had my back in 2018, I had my Twitch streams hacked. I had my computer hacked. It's not fun. I know what it's like to be bullied online. In fact, that happened to me in 2021 on Twitter, because people didn't agree with my opinion, so they all dogpiled on me. It's not fun. It's not fun. But when you're now the community leader, but you don't want the feedback of people because it's not correct speech or something, and now you're blocking people and you're punching down, you're basically the bully. Would you just shift perspective and listen? It's like Heroes Niantic, but now you're the community leader, but you don't want to hear it. I don't know. Is Niantic using these community leaders, which are just people with cameras, influencers with cameras, as their new target? No, it's these guys' fault. They decided for your behalf that you don't get to have 6-hour community days. Because YouTubers and Twitch streamers, right? And saying things that are just straight up ableist, and also behaving like this. I'm not a military veteran. I can't do 100 push-ups. There's so many people who can't. There's also lots of handicapped people. Plus, I'm up in the north. I know some people don't necessarily like, so for example, like, Poke AK, he's like a firebrand. He's like moody. I don't know if it's like a culture where I think he lives up in like Alaska. Maybe their culture is like that. Maybe their culture is that. And yeah, he did block me or whatever on Twitter. I don't know what I ever did to him. He has a tendency to block people, but his actions tend to be consistent, kind of thing. If he doesn't like something or if he feels a certain way, I mean, he tends to be moody. Okay, but when he was doing his live stream for Johto Tour, which he was very vocal about how he didn't like it, he also was very vocal about his stances on, um, what was it, Heroes Niantic and maybe it was GoFest or something or stuff related to that. Yeah, he was very vocal about his opinions on that. He's pretty consistent. Um, Whereas other people, it's like one day they want to be like the good guy and play, and or care about the handicap, and then now it's all about like, oh no, you need to go outside, you need to do these things, and then throwing handicapped people into the bus. You're kind of a bully. You're kind of a bully. Kind of, you think? If you have a moral or stance or principle, it needs to stay consistent. Otherwise, you're a moral relativist. Whereas I feel like someone like Poke AK, he's pretty consistent. I don't honestly fault him for certain things because it's like he's like, this is who I am. Whereas other personalities are like, well, for this situation I'm this, or this because it benefits me, but now for this it's not, and block you, block you, block you, block you. This is not okay. And I mean, like, I have so many screen captures of I don't even want to show it because like honestly I don't want to bully this person. I'd like to think that this person is maybe just sort of misguided and not actually a bad person, and that maybe they should like shift perspective because the optics are bad. The optics are real bad. Like you you're picking on handicapped people, or when people have like an argument or a counter argument to your it must be this way, and then you're blocking them and mocking them and whatever, and then now you don't care about the concerns of handicapped persons, and then it might have actually been your idea to force everyone into a 3-hour community day because you said so or whatever, or you're a community leader. That's not okay. And all of Twitter is blowing up right now. I mean, like, people are canceling this person. I'm not trying to cancel this person. I'm just saying, could you please shift perspective and try to see things from other points of view? Like, I don't know why you're not saying that you're the bully. You are a bully now. You are the bully now. You may have been bullied like 3 or 4 years ago, but now you're the bully, and people telling you things is not them bullying you. You are the bully. You're punching down. And I can say that without hate. Like, I don't hate this person. I'm not trying to ruin their career. And so, like, I asked people that I personally know, and there's so many people who play this game. So many people who play this game. And I'm like, can you bring up, the fact that, like, this far up in the north, we have a different type of an experience playing the game? Weather is a major concern here. A major concern here. Then, of course, there's gas prices, and then there's the handicapped. There are so many handicapped and elderly people who play this game. Another thing is, Pokemon Go tends to help people with disorders. And also, when it comes to people who have mood disorders, I was one of the people in my community that refused to, kick people out. I was like, I don't want to ban certain people for certain behaviors because A, they just need a little longer to mature, and B, they might actually be in the autistic spectrum, so they have mood disorders. And it was funny because when I put that in perspective with a lot of people, they were like, oops, well, I guess I'm the jerk now. And they're not the jerk, I am. And the funny thing was, all the persons who were, pretty much the majority of them, have all made peace with me. over stupid misunderstandings, and we do raids together. Um, it worked out. We didn't need to kick anyone out because that's your community. You know what I mean? Kicking people out because maybe they had an outburst. Well, maybe they couldn't handle the outburst at the time. It's the thing. So the thing is, certain YouTubers I know, they know how to behave. They know how to manage their behavior and so on. And yet they're acting like bullies right now, and they don't have a mood disorder. You know what I mean? They don't have they're not on the autistic spectrum, which those are handicapped. It's a handicap. Okay, someone who has mood disorders and outbursts and so on, right? If you can behave better, you should. If you can hold it in or whatever, you should. And then if you mess up, you might want to just be like sorry and start over. I mean, so I'm not thrilled and happy about this whole situation with having a shorter community day, right? I'm also not going out of my way to attack people. I just was like, here's my feedback. You asked me how I felt. This is how I felt. That's not an attack. Anyway, whatever. So I'm doing this video in English. If anyone needs me to do stuff in German or Chinese, I could potentially do that. But I feel like most people tend to speak English anyway. And I guess that's it for now. I do apologize if you get recommended my old YouTuber stuff from when I was in my 20s and the 2000s. If you're not into that, I do apologize. And also, another thing is, I remember an individual on Twitter, they mentioned it in a tweet about, their thoughts and feelings, so they used it as a shameless plug to promote their live stream, and then also that they're going to have an edited version, so they cut all the fat out and put it on YouTube, and all this stuff is for monetary gain. These are the community leaders. There are people in my area, even just my hometown right here where I currently live, who are like Pokemon gods, okay? They're so much more knowledgeable, so much more like skillful. They just don't put their whole Pokemon Go life on camera, okay? I've had more engaged and better interactions on a community level that included other people. And we've also been able to work out our differences with bullies by talking, not shutting them off. In fact, I was one of the people that was advocating not to kick people out because that's your community. And it turns out that when you talk stuff out and you do something called respect, it works. There's people that were either beefing with each other or with me that we're not beefing anymore because we talked it out like mature adults. I'm also older than a certain person, so I have to set an example, okay? So lo and behold, persons on Twitter, because people on Twitter have a lot of perspective, lots of it. They're like, well, the reason why, because I'm wondering, like, why is it that we're going from 6 hours just to 3? Also, it's a brand new Pokemon, which apparently needs like a ton of candies, and I saw people doing math on that, which is kind of missing at the moment. Here's another person. This person here. I please do not bully these people. Also, don't bully any of the YouTubers, okay? And the streamers. Okay, I'm not advocating any kind of bullying at all. But this person had an idea here. Is this person being negative? Is this person a bad person? I don't think there's anything wrong with this. I don't think there's anything wrong with this idea. They were like, okay, lemons make lemonade. How about we choose your adventure? But here's the thing. How did we get from 6 to 3? Well, because of community leaders. Community leaders. Who are they? I didn't pick them. Who are these people representing me? The unknown and unnamed. There's all the people that I'm interacting with on Twitter and Discord. We don't do it. We don't do it for money. We're not doing it for fame. We're doing it because it's our community. Okay? So I don't understand how you think that it's okay to pick on handicap people or use them as tokens and pawns when it suits your monetary gain or to make you look good. What was it they used to call that? Clout chasing or something? Maybe you didn't think you were doing that, or maybe you hadn't intended to do that, but the optics are what they are. I mean, can you please just rethink this? You don't actually represent everyone here. There are thousands and thousands of people here that play that you don't represent. And now we're subject to change based on your whims and your feelings. Then you ask us how we feel and we're unhappy and we're evil. That's not okay. That's a pretty abusive relationship.